or where you are in life's journey, you are welcome here.
So we just want to welcome you on behalf of Compassionate St. Augustine. We're very pleased to partner with this event. It's pretty remarkable that in our world's history we now have a declaration, a universal declaration of human rights. Our challenge now is to try to be more and more in compliance with it. And that's
I'm Mary Lawrence, and I'm the founder of Indivisible St. John's, and we are really honored to be asked to be co-sponsors of this event tonight because the Human Declaration, or the Declaration of Human Rights, is in line with just about every principle Indivisible stands for. We're a legislative advocacy group, we're nonpartisan, so it's not all, how should I put this? It's just not as spiritual or whatever as you guys think. We're pretty on the ground and nitty gritty with, talking to our representatives and insisting on things that are in this declaration.
And about the why we are here. Plato once said that what is honored in a country will be cultivated there. I remember hearing William Sloane Coffin say that one time in Tampa, and it just stuck in my mind. What we honor and lift up in a place, that's what's going to be cultivated there, and it's going to grow even more. And so we're about tonight cultivating something that we want to see grow, that is really, truly good. So tonight, let's cultivate what we're for and kick off cultivating this universal declaration of human rights in our communities and in our 3 counties that are represented here. 2, focusing on celebrating a statement that sets a standard everywhere in the world for a more just, compassionate, and respectful place for human beings to be, and also for all of the other creatures here. Roosevelt's preparation of the 4 freedom speech, and so I want to say just a little bit about what it was. Here's the setting. 1941, January. You have England facing Germany across the Channel. You have Japan expanding all over Asia. You have really the march of just terrible dictatorships. And then you have a people here in the United States that they don't know what they want to do. They sure don't want to go back into another war like they had back in the First World War. And so it's just all mixed. And so Roosevelt is working with his speechwriters, and he is trying to figure out, what do I say to the people at the State of the Union address in January of 1941, fully almost 12 months, 11 months before Pearl Harbor? What do I say to them? What do I say that will set the stage for us thinking about what, if we get drug into this, what are we fighting for? As America entered the war, these 4 freedoms, the freedom of speech, the freedom of worship, the freedom from want, the freedom from fear, symbolized America's war aims and gave hope in the following years to a war-wearied people because they knew they were fighting for freedom. Oh yeah, so this, my friends, this is the yellow pad, a picture of it, on which the 4 freedoms were, where that speechwriter wrote down what Franklin Roosevelt spoke.
The first is freedom of speech and expression everywhere in the world. The second is freedom of every person to worship God in his own way everywhere in the world. The third is freedom from want, which translated into world terms means economic understanding which will secure to every nation a healthy, peacetime life for its inhabitants everywhere in the world. The fourth is freedom from fear, which translated into world terms means a worldwide reduction of armament to such a point and in such a thorough fashion that no nation will be in a position to commit an act of physical aggression against any neighbor anywhere in the world.
We were a very imperfect country, still are a very imperfect country, but we had very powerful leadership in that man that was speaking, and he drew us together. And the next time that those four freedoms appears is when they began to form the United Nations. That already began in 1942. Then the next place that it appears is right in the preamble to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights.
And this now has become the high standard that we set as human beings of what we aspire to be and how we aspire to be with each other. The fact that tonight, exactly 70 years ago, this momentous occasion was adopted by the United Nations.
After World War II, it was clear that the horrors of the war should never be allowed to occur again. Founded in 1945, the United Nations sought to prevent future atrocities by affirming, in its foundational charter, faith in fundamental human rights, the dignity and worth of the human person, and a commitment to promote better standards of life in larger freedom. On the 10th of December, 1948, the General Assembly of the United Nations adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights as a common standard of achievement for all peoples and all nations.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to read this as a community. And
I stand for Article 1. We are all born free. We all have our own thoughts and ideas. We should all be treated in the same way.
I stand for Article 2. These rights belong to everybody, whether we are rich or poor, whatever country we live in, whatever gender or whatever color we are, whatever language we speak, whatever we think or whatever we believe.
Stand for Article 3.
We stand for Article 3.
We all have the right to life and to live in freedom and safety.
I stand for Article 4. Nobody has any right to make us a slave. We cannot make anyone else our slave.
We stand for Article 5. Nobody has any right to hurt us or to torture us.
We stand for Article 6. We all have the same right to use the law.
We stand for Article 7. The law is the same for everyone. It must treat us all fairly.
We stand for Article 8. We can all ask for the law to help us when we're not treated fairly.
We stand for Article 9. Nobody has the right to put us in prison without a good reason, to keep us there, or to send us away from our country.
We stand for Article 10. If someone is accused of breaking the law, they have the right to a fair and public trial.
We stand for Article 11. Nobody should be blamed for doing something until it has been proved that they did it. If people say we did something bad, we have the right to show this was not true. Nobody should punish us for something that we did not do, or for doing something which was not against the law when we did it.
We stand for Article 12. Nobody should try to harm our good name. Nobody has the right to come into our home, open our letters, or bother us or our family without a very good reason.
We stand for Article 13. We all have the right to go where we want and to in our own country and to travel abroad as we wish.
We stand for Article 14. If we are frightened of being badly treated in our own country, we all have the right to run away to another country to be safe.
We stand for Article 15. We all have the right to belong to a country.
Article 16. Every grown-up has the right to marry and have a family if they want to. Men and women have the same rights when they are married and when they are separated.
We stand for Article 17. Everyone has the right to own things or share them. Nobody should take our things from us without a good reason.
We stand for Article 18. We all have the right to believe in what we want to believe, to have a religion, or to change it if we want.
We stand for Article 19. We all have the right to make up our own minds, to think what we like, to say what we think, and to share our ideas with other people wherever they live, through books, radio, television, and in other ways.
We stand for Article 20. We all have the right to meet our friends and to work together in peace to defend our rights. Nobody can make us join a group if we don't want to.
We stand for Article 21. We all have the right to take part in the government of our country. Everyone should be allowed to choose their own leaders from time to time and should have a vote which should be made in secret.
We stand for Article 22. We all have the right to a home, to have enough money to live on, and medical help if we are ill. We should all be allowed to enjoy music, art, craft, sport, and to make use of our skills.
We stand for Article 23. Everyone has the right to a job, to get a fair wage for their work, and to join a trade union.
We stand for Article 24. We all have the right to rest from work and relax.
And we all stand for Article 25. We all have the right to a good life with enough food, clothing, housing, and health care. Mothers and children, people without work, old and disabled people, all have the right to help.
We stand for Article 26. We all have the right to an education and to finish elementary school, which should be free. We should be able to learn a career or to make use of all our skills. We should learn about the United Nations and about how to get along with other people and respect their rights.
We stand for Article 27. We all have the right to our own way of life and to enjoy the good things that science and learning bring.
We stand for Article 28. We have a right to peace and order so we can all enjoy rights and freedoms in our own country and all over the world.
We stand for Article 29. We have a duty to other people and we should protect their rights and freedoms.
We stand for Article 30. Nobody can take these rights and freedoms from us.
We stand for Article 30.
People have been using this document for 70 years to leverage, and you know with a lever, you don't have the power to do it, you use the lever, to give you extra power, to make things move that you could never move just on your own. So this document has been used widely as leverage to get things done by people who did not have the force of power themselves to do it. They used the document to do it. Hey folks, you think we might be able to do that in St. Johns County and Putnam County and in Flagler County? But just think for yourself. Where have I seen a violation of what we have been standing up for here tonight and reading? Where have I seen it with my own eyes, in my own community? And then what we'll do with that is I'm going to ask you then to jot down your ideas of where you see the violations of human rights happening. And then if you have any thoughts about, well, who should we write to about that? Who should we talk to about that? Put that down as well. Jimmy Carter. He's still alive and kicking, and a wonderful person. We can hardly clamor for justice in other parts of the world if we will not pledge to provide justice for our own citizens. Well, we have stood up tonight And let's carry that stand out into our communities. And also, you have an opportunity to make a recording, if you would like, of reading one of the articles. It's in the conference and kitchen. And so Tony's waving his hand back there. He's a videographer. And we have a fantastic backstand for you to read that on. But you get one of the articles, read it, and then it goes to the United Nations to be posted by them internationally. There are people tonight and around the world reading that in hundreds of languages. Okay? Is that cool or what? We are not alone. We are together. We're part of a global community. That is a good thing to know. Now, there's food and refreshment and networking galore. Go for it.